Hi all, Craig Nicholas CM Fitness here. What I'm going to do just now is a video on nutrient timing. What this is not going to be is a kind of how-to video, how to structure your protein, carbs and fat for best results. The reason it's not going to be that is because that's basically just not possible over a video for Facebook, because nutrient timing is very individualistic and you've got to consider each person's individual needs, circumstances, training routines, etc. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go over a couple of points that you should consider when deciding what nutrient timing is best for you, and also just talk about a couple of common myths in relation to kind of nutrient timing. So the first one, which is pretty simple but it's very important in relation to nutrient timing, is schedule. What is your current schedule like, and how much can you kind of bend your schedule to suit any nutritional kind of program that you set out to follow? Because ultimately the best nutritional plan is one that you can stick to. You know, it's all very well saying, right, okay, I need to eat this at this time, this at this time, this at this time, this at this time, but if you're not going to be able to stick to that and your schedule isn't going to allow you to do that, then it's just a waste of time and a pointless exercise. So consider your schedule and try and sort of work your nutritional plan around your schedule and bend your schedule as much as you can so that you can have, an optimal nutritional schedule. So that's the first point. Make sure that your nutritional program is workable around your current schedule, or you could bend your schedule to suit the nutrient program. But don't set out to do something which isn't going to be possible to do. Number two is, what time are you training, what time are you working out? I'm a big believer that most of your carbohydrates should be eaten around about your workouts. Definitely post-workout, I would say you want to be getting a good source of carbohydrates in. And potentially pre-workout as well. It depends pre-workout. Some people, feel fine training, feel best training on just protein and fat pre-workout. Some people feel like a zombie if they train without having carbohydrates in them. So I would say definitely get a source of carbohydrates post-workout and potentially pre-workout as well. But basically, with the workout, that's when you're going to be working hardest out of the day. That's when your energy expenditure is going to be the highest. So make sure you're getting a decent amount of calories, without getting too specific, a decent amount of calories around your workout. Number one, to give you energy for that workout, and number two, to replenish you and help you recover after the workout. Okay? Point number three is, this is a pretty simple one. Don't eat like protein in isolation on its own. You'll see a lot of people that go on crazy diets and all this kind of stuff, and they're having dry turkey mince with salad. I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't recommend to my clients that they have protein in isolation. I always say to them, if you're having, a meal should consist of protein and carbs, protein and fat, or protein and carbs and fat, just to get a balanced intake of nutrients and to make sure that your calorie content isn't too low. So that's just a very simple tip, but whenever you're having protein, which should be at most meals, you want to be having a decent source of protein, 4 or 5 times per day. When you're having protein, make sure you've got some source of healthy fats with it or some source of carbohydrates. Okay, again, it's very individualistic, but that's just a simple point. Don't just be eating, a lean source of protein with no fat or carbs. Another point, this is to do with energy levels. This is something that I get quite a lot of my clients to do, and all of them have reported improvements in energy levels, focus levels, training intensity, etc. Is if your energy levels are kind of a bit yo-yo, and you feel like your energy levels are going up and down, or there's a certain point in your day, mid-afternoon, where your energy levels are dropping down, or your appetite's going through the roof, is try and have a protein and fat-rich breakfast. A protein and fat-rich breakfast tends to help stabilize your blood sugar levels, which is going to keep your energy levels more consistent throughout the day. So whether that be, some eggs like an omelette, or, you could have a meat and nut breakfast, which is, that's quite popular, a lot of people do that. That is something that you could try, having a high protein, moderate fat, low carbohydrate breakfast if you feel that your energy levels are always dropping off, or your appetite levels are up and down like a yo-yo throughout the kind of morning and afternoon. So a high protein, moderate fat, low carb breakfast is good for that. So that's just a couple of points there. Number one is schedule. Make sure your plan is workable around your schedule. Number 2, make sure you're getting a decent amount of energy in around about your workout. Carbs post-workout, potentially pre-workout as well, but get plenty of calories based around your workout. Number 3 is don't eat protein in isolation and just live off of chicken and green beans or whatever, because that's not good. Protein, you want to have a balanced diet, so make sure you're getting protein and fat, or protein and carbs, or all 3 macronutrients in a meal. Number 4 is if your energy levels are dropping off throughout the morning or your appetite's all over the place, try a high protein, moderate fat, low carb breakfast, such as eggs or some type of animal protein and some olive oil or nuts or something for the fat. That tends to help stabilize blood sugar and improve your energy levels. So that's a few points there that you should consider with nutrient timing. A couple of common myths that I'm just going to talk about really quickly to help with the nutrient timing and try and simplify things to you, because a lot of people talk about all these crazy things which really aren't too important. The first one is the more frequently you eat, the faster your metabolism is going to be. So I mean, this is particularly popular with bodybuilders who are kind of eating chicken and brown rice every 2 hours. There's no correlation between meal frequency and metabolic rate. So a lot of people say there is, but science has disproved it, and there's no science to back that up. That is just not the case. You do not need to be eating every 2-3 hours to stimulate your metabolism to make sure you're burning all these extra calories or whatever. That is not the case. Now that's not to say that you should do intermittent fasting and eat once per day. But if you're 4 meals per day, you're going to be fine on that. I have a lot of clients making good progress on 4 meals per day. Having 4 or 5 hour gaps between their meals. That they get on fine. So that's just a simple one. Don't think that you have to eat every couple of hours to lose body fat, because it's just not the case. It's just not true. That's not true. Another one which is not true is eating late at night. A lot of people think that if you eat after a certain time, the most popular time I think is 6 o'clock in the evening. If you eat anything after that, it's instantly going to be stored as fat. Again, this is just not true. This is not true at all. Basically, at the end of the day, if your calorie intake is still the same, your fat loss or gain is going to be relatively similar. Obviously it depends, the hormonal issues, etc. Do come into account a certain extent, but overall, in the grand scheme of things, eating late at night is, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's good. I encourage most of my clients to eat something before they go to their bed. Absolutely. So that is just not true. Eating late at night, feel free to do that. If your calorie content is the same at the end of the day, there's not going to be any noticeable difference in whether or not those calories were eaten after a magic time. Another one is carbohydrates. This is kind of going on the before bed sort of scheme. A lot of people think that if you eat carbs at bedtime, then you're going to die and you're going to get obese. Again, this is just not the case. A lot of people, I think it's because of the way kind of breakfast cereals have been marketed, etc. That, have your cereal and your carbs in the morning, and then, carbs are going to give you lots of energy. So if you eat carbs before bedtime, then you're going to be wired all night and not be able to get to sleep. Again, this is just not the case. If you have a decent source of carbohydrates before your bed, this is not going to have any negative effects at all. In fact, it's probably going to have good effects. Carbohydrates increase serotonin levels, which is a hormone which makes you feel good and helps you relax. So quite often eating something, for example, like a bowl of porridge before your bed, not straight before your bed, but if you go to bed at 11, eat a bowl of porridge at 9, that increase in serotonin levels can help you relax and can help you get to sleep. So not only would I say eating carbs at night is not going to make you fat, it's probably going to help with your sleep, which will in turn likely help you get leaner. So people saying that eating carbs late at night make you fat, again, that's just not true. So the 3 things you don't need to worry about are eating every couple of hours to boost your metabolism, eating late at night, don't worry about that, and eating carbohydrates late at night as well. Again, do not worry about that, okay? So just a couple points there. Like I said, it's not a how-to video, it's just a couple of me just giving you my thoughts basically, because this is very individualistic. But I hope you found some of that information useful. If you like this video, just click like. If you've got any other videos that you'd like me to do, just send me a message or comment below. That's fine. Thank you all. Any questions, just give me a message and I'll get back to you. Craig Nicholas, CM Fitness. Thank you.